Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house as always. Boy, what a lineup we've got today, eh? What a lineup. The aftermath of the sell-off yesterday, and we're going to talk about that in the markets. Check out where PulseChain is, how much of a recovery it had, what might happen over the next couple of weeks. We're going to look at the ProveX results, the sacrifice results after about 20 hours, maybe coming in 21 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. We're going to have a look at the results there. And of course, we're going to check out some of the reactions in the community. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to also provide a few little insights as well, potentially. And what might be happening next, what's going to happen next. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Get your feedback, get your comments in the chat. Love to hear from your opinions about all that. And we'll pick off a few interesting ones. But yeah, that's where we are right now. Let me just get the copy of the link, and don't forget the usual thing, share the channel around as always. So share show on X. If you haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube, smash the subscribe button, and on X just scroll up to the top and hit the follow button. And look forward to seeing you on regular attendance in the show. So there we go. So that is the link there. Share the show around. Just hit the repost button. That helps a lot. All right, let's get into it. Without further ado, we're going to kick off with the stock market and, of course, the crypto market and see where everything's at. We're going to speed through that, get to PulseChain, and then go through everything else. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's see where we are at right now. And we're going to kick it off into the stock market, see where we ended up overnight. So Wednesday's results. S&P 500 is flat as investors rotate ahead of expected government reopening. We have the Dow Jones, they're up 0.7%, so a pretty good day, actually, another good day. 327 points to 48,255. So if we have a look at the chart there, we're pushing new all-time highs here for the Dow Jones. Isn't that awesome? The S&P 500 is pretty flat, actually, about 4 points up, 68.51. And that's not quite off the, it's off the all-time highs, just back here on the 30th of October. And the Nasdaq there is down 0.25%, 61 points at 23,400. That's also off the highs as well, which was, I think, pretty close to, where was it? Around about 23,700, just underneath that. So a couple hundred points off. The US dollar is up just slightly at 99.37. Let's go to commodities. West Texas at the moment, $58.50. Down dramatically, actually 4%, over 4% on crude oil, down $2.50. That's a pretty big drop, $58.50. Well, Brent oil there is down 3.7%, $2.44 to $62.72. So, a real nice drop off there in the oil prices. Let's have a look over the last year. Yeah, I mean, look, since Trump came in back up here where it was high, it's come down a lot. Look at that, beautiful. Gold at the moment, 4,200, climbing back up. Previous high was, 44.50 or something like that. And now we've got silver as well, $53. That's climbing also. And it looks like it's about to push a new local high there, isn't it? Pretty awesome. In fact, new all-time high, I should say. So got silver on the move there, $53. So if you got a bag of gold and silver, congratulations. It is going up, up, up and away, which is pretty neat. Let me, what are we doing here? I'm trying to get hold of this. And there we go. Click on that. All right. Hopefully the mic works a little bit better there. So that is the moves there. Now on the government reopening. Now we've got four main events that I can see before the end of the year that can affect the markets, in my view, that are just obvious ones. One is the government shutdown, which looks like that is opening up. So that's good news. The next one, of course, is the Supreme Court and the tariffs, emergency use. And then on the 19th is the NVIDIA results. And then coming in to 10th of December is the interest rate cuts, next interest rate cuts. So those are kind of the main sort of things that I see at the moment. Government reopening to see data released there. Lawmakers on the U.S. House of Representatives are likely to vote this week on a compromise that would end an historically long government shutdown. So that's kind of cool. So we're still waiting for that. And then they're going to, do some back pay and things like that. So that's kind of where we are. And hopefully people, air controllers will stop doing their secondary jobs. That's pretty much it. All right, so that is pretty much it for the stock market. Let's have a quick look at the interest rate cuts monitor for the what we're expecting for the interest rates. How many people are expecting it to be cut? We have seen an increase in that. Oh, it's back down again. So we're down at 55%. So a slim majority there is expecting a 25 basis point cut at the moment. So that's moving around a bit on the old expectations. We were over 60, remember? 60%. So, yeah, a bit volatile there. All right, that's pretty much it for the stock market. Don't forget to share the show around on X as well. Get out there and hit the repost button. Let's go to the crypto market and have a look at the majors, see how they performed overnight. Let's have a look there. Bam. All right, so we've got the Bitcoin or crypto market, should say, at 3.5 trillion. That's down 1.1%. And we've got the Bitcoin at the moment, $101,780, down 0.8%. Ethereum at $3,415, up 0.2%. XRP at number 4, up 0.1%, $2.38. BNB number 5 is down 0.3% at $954. Solana at number 6 is down 1.3%, $153 there. We got Tron at number 9 is down 0.5% at 29.5 cents. And finally, Doge on the top 10 is down 1% at 17 cents. So those are our top 10. Best performer is, I guess it's Ethereum, up 0.2%. The best performer over the last week is XRP. No, it's Tron. Tron up 2% is the best performer in the top 10. Top 100 for the last week has been Filecoin, 56%, Uniswap at 40%. We've got Near Protocol at 32%, Provenance or Hash is up 22%, and finally Internet Computer at 20% for the week. So it looks like there's about 10 coins that are up over 10% from the looks of it. Top gainers of 1,000 is Audira, I guess you say it, up 123%. AnySpend, almost 2x there, and Alchemex, they're up 50%. Trending is 11.11. And Concordium and Aerodrome Finance. So those are some of the ones on the move right now. So that's pretty much it on the old crypto. I said it was going to be pretty quick there. So at least we're still over 100K for Bitcoin. holding on. Let's jump over to the Go Pulse and have a look at the results there. Let me just do a bit of a refresh. Make sure everything is updated. Is it refreshing? I bet it's not refreshing. Let's try that one more time. Refresh. All right, there we go. All right, so day 915, guys. Can you believe it? It's crazy, eh? We're heading towards 1,000 days on the old PulseChain. We've got Pulse price at the moment at 0.243. It is down 14%. And we did, we went all the way down at 21.65, I think it was yesterday. We bounced back almost to 2,700, which is the key mark that we want to get to. And then we've slumped down from there, and that's not surprising. I mean, we've got pretty, what do you say? We got the ProveX sacrifice at the moment, expecting non-PulseChain tokens, and we had a lot of people, route the chart yesterday, right? So it is what it is. So we're down 14%, 24% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment. PulseX at the moment, 0.155, down 13.3%. And so that's down pretty dramatically. Now the buy and burn is at 8.07. So even though market prices are down, it is the buy and burn that ended up being, at least that was a positive thing. We ended up doing a huge buy and burn. So I think normally we're doing about $20,000. I think we did about 50,000 or 60,000, somewhere in that ballpark, for the buy and burn on PulseX. So that was, that was the byproduct was a positive, I guess. So we're at 8.07% at the moment, 8.07% buy and burn. Ink token at the moment, that was very volatile yesterday. It had a bit of a fight back compared to other Richard Art cores, but it's now settled down at $1.01. So is it instead of PDI to $1, is it Ink token to $1? Ink token, the new $1. The new $1, that is down 9.86%. That's the best performer out of the Richard cores. Hex on PulseChain, 0.55 of a penny, down 30%. EHEX at the moment, 0.14 of a penny. And we've got the combined price of EHEX and PX at 60, just under 0.69 of a penny there. That's where we are right now on the old Hex. Now let's go to the gas prices. We've got 600,000 beats, pretty similar to yesterday, just slightly down from yesterday. Yesterday, of course, we had big spikes, especially with we had a number of issues yesterday, right? The bridge issue, the gas issue, liquidity issue. We had triple whammy there. These extreme events. We have got, honestly, we got a lot better, but we still have issues there. Now, there is, of course, a secondary bridge to be able to bridge through, and that is Hyperlane. So if you guys are you wanting to get stuff through without much of a hitch, then you could use the Hyperlane bridge. So just take note. I think a lot of people are still not too familiar with Hyperlane, but you can use it. I think Pulse Coin List recently incorporated that with their Pulse Swap. So if you obviously the official bridge can be trouble in extreme events, especially with gas spikes, and liquidity can run out even for really good protocols like Liberty Swap. So Hyperlane would be the alternative, basically operating that second bridge to PulseChain, and so that's probably the play. Just to keep that in mind, that might be your first go-to, but you need to maybe use it once or twice to get an idea, perhaps. So we're at 0.5 cent for a PulseX swap right now. Validators, 52,545 active validators at the moment, so pretty similar to what we've had the last couple of days. The bridge, of course, 89, so we're just below 90 million. And that's pretty similar to yesterday, just down slightly, I think. Let's have a look at the Pulse stats here somewhere. We're PulseChain stats. So look at the bridge results on there. Always forget to bring the website up, but let's go to the stats here. Go to the bridge stats. Go to the daily inflows. And what do we have with the timestamp? No doubt it's negative again. Let's see what we got. Negative 378. So that's what our timestamp was. So I think the day before was a negative about 100,000, was it? Something like that. We had a couple of negative days. So yeah, 660k in and 1 million out, 378 net there. That's timestamped UTC, which is about now, isn't it? Somewhere about now. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are on that. All right, let's go to the PulseChain markets then. We're at 46.7 million. Yay, we got big volume, but boo, it's on the wrong side of the ledger there. So we got 46.7 million. Remember the day before, I think we were at 14 million. Now we're at 46. We want high volumes, but we want big green candles on everything, right? But that's not what we got today. 46.7 million in volume, 543,000 transactions. We've got the top performers on the trending 100. Remember, none of this is investment advice. I always go through this, so there we go. Phoenix there is at number one, up 8% for the 24 hours. PMX 500 is up 2%. PTC Atropa at 1%. Devcoin at 1%. Ink Dollar, of course, is a stable coin. Fetch there is up a 30% there. Interesting enough. So not much green, guys. That is pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much down. Even Source on Minimal with its little buy and burn power is down 1.6% there. We do have a few of the Peacock related coins are actually holding up fairly well as well there. Now, the question you got to ask yourself, what is a defensive crypto on PulseChain? And there aren't many, right? There aren't many. And so, and even those can struggle, right? Because, everything's tied into Pulse. Pulse goes down in US dollars. But what has the potential to defend the Pulse ratio or go up even, at least recover quickly? Those are sort of the ones that you need to think about, and there's not many. So we went through some of those last night in Discord, having a strategy chat there. So if you haven't joined up the strategy chat, definitely think about it. We go through all that sort of stuff. A lot of stuff I don't talk about on PulseChain, and we have great, good old chat. In fact, we chatted quite late last night into about 1:30 in the morning, which we hadn't done for a while, so it was good. But yeah, Strategy Club, $35 a month, really great value. It's just over $1 a day. I mean, it's pretty good value there. And you get in there. We pass intel in there all the time. We have big chats, pretty open chats about everything, and you can become part of our community there. Links in the video description for that Strategy Club, and also pinned to the top of the X profile for the Kryptonite Show. So check that out. All right, what else we got going? So yeah, we've got a lot of the ones tied into that. So we got Top Hat. It's got Peacock Pairs. Zero Trust got Peacock Pairs. We've got Peacock itself is up as well, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later. And what else? Yeah, so everything else pretty much down. We've got just Doubt Token down. Everything else pretty much down. What's down the most? I guess we'll just go and have a quick look at that. Well, it looks like X Game is down at 3/3200th of a penny, down 30%. Sparta with the Hex Dow is also down, so that's down 32% with the Hex Dow. P Tiger is down 27%. That had been performing pretty well. We got Unity obviously down at 10 cents. So Unity is heading down towards where we expect it to be. Remember, Unity is coming up to its phase 3, day 89 from the first creations. So let's have a quick look at that. That is down, looking around the Taurus price that we saw recently is around 10 cents. And we're on day 87. So we're only a day, 2 days away, day and a half away, something like that. 2 days away, let's say. And let's look at the stats right now. So how much is liquid right now? So we've got 146,000 liquid, which is very, very different. This seems to be very different to what we're seeing on Taurus side. Staked is 325. And we are going to get a lot of volume coming out, so we'll see how that's tested in the next 2 days. Yeah, that's where we are right now on that one. So kind of cool. Let's go to the dashboard. Actually, let's quickly go to dashboard and have a look at that with the old Unity. So look at the log chart. So log chart here, what did I say? Day 89. So this candle here is coming out. There are 2.4 million in Unity creations coming out. We're on day 87, so we've had 181,000, 71,000, and then we're having a big jump, guys, in 2 days to 2.4 million. What will that do to the chart? I don't know if it's going to do too much. I think people are probably pretty around break even, but we'll see. That is the Unity. So we'll keep tabs on that. Big shout out to Cryptographics out there. That's the price there, getting pulled down. Now the ratio to PulseX, let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, that's come down. So that was expected. No surprise there. And it's around about what we're seeing with Taurus. But I think we're going to see differences in the staking to liquid amounts, because I think our PulseChain are used to staking a lot more, obviously with X and other protocols. So we'll see how that goes. So that is pretty. Oh, where am I going there? Not there. All right. So that is some of the stuff that's going on right now. Those are the ones that are down quite a bit. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's get into some of the results around ProveX. What else we got there? We got Wookiees in house. I know we got a couple of comments there. We got Pulse C. We're going to get to ProveX there. Right. Remember yesterday when I sent a live stream, I had a lot of problems refreshing the browser. Unfortunately, it was a real pain. Probably because of the server being overrun, maybe. Paul C says, I haven't been watching for a while. What's a feeling, ProveX? Well, there's quite a bit of mixed feeling in the community, Paul. I would say it's I've seen some polls. I haven't looked at all the poll results. I've seen a couple of people have done polls. The ones I did, there was about 50-50. It was pretty close to that, for and against, Now, we did. I looked at yesterday. We looked at the charts. Compared when I had some exotic bird outside, made some exotic chirping. That was quite different. Very musical. Yeah, I would say when we had Pulse and PulseX, people were pretty wealthy. Hex was up pretty high still. We're still in that sort of the bull mode. Even though we're coming down to the bull mode for PulseX, we're still rising into it for PulseChain sacrifice. But this time, of course, all the asset values are down dramatically on PulseChain post sacrifice, and after 2 years or so. So we've got a very different environment, and people were optimistic that the scenario. There was 2 scenarios, right? One scenario that'd be non-cause, non-PulseChain stuff, and then the other one was it'd be PulseChain stuff essentially. And of course, it was the non-PulseChain stuff. And there's bullish scenarios for both of those 2 things, right? But unfortunately, people are going to have to wait. I think again, so that's part of the other thing, right? People are going to have to wait if there is anything bullish side to the ProveX, then they're going to have to wait potentially, 30 days, 60 days, even more. We shall see. There's a lot of chess pieces that could be moved, and it makes it a bit more complex. So everyone's sort of like trying to keep the ear to the ground. We've got Wookie in the house there. It's raining, so Wookie is in the house. Nice one there, Wookie. You've got the big giant umbrella to sit under. How about that? On the 1.5x level. What, am I talking too fast? Talking too slow. Pulse C says seems off. Can't sacrifice Pulse and Hex. Yep. We got good afternoon from Vinny. Let's go Peacock. Yep. Well, Peacock's pretty what I'd call a defensive crypto, and even that's down, right? So even that's down. But we're going to talk more about that later. So the results at the moment, can you guys see it? I think you guys can. The results at the moment, $697,000. So basically 700K. And we've got the total amount of points just under 14 billion. Remember, just every dollar is 10,000 points. And there's a multiplier for the size, right? Bigger pays better. But essentially, think about it this way. The price that you're getting isn't your sacrifice price. The price for the market is actually the whale's price, right? So if you are below the whale, the top account, right? The top account. So if you get below the leaderboard here, you got the leaderboard here. So the top person at the moment, based on this, has done 31,780. Yesterday, the top person we were doing it was 17,000. So it was this number 4 account. They've all been pushed out by these other 3 players. So now we've got $31,778 is the top person. They got a multiplier of 2.95. This really is the market price, right? You think about it. Everyone else is paying more, right? So they get the big bonus multiplier. Everyone else is paying more. So that's a really important thing about it, and that's what we see. Generally speaking, I think we see with the PulseChain prices down, right? So if the whale price was for Pulse was, excuse me, was 40s 4100. We've been under that a lot of times, right? So you can move below the sacrifice price even for the whales price, right? So that's pretty interesting. Now, obviously, once the fixed supply is out and if the application's being used for ProveX, there'll be a lot of buy and burning of the ProveX, and that's the idea, right? So those tokens will be burned off. Now, that's going to be something interesting to really see play out. At the moment, we're still at the beginning. We've got obviously all the way through to about 19 days, as you can see in the countdown there. 20 days and 1 hour, 36 minutes. But that will get us to around about the 2nd of or let's say the 3rd of December. That's when everyone can sacrifice $1 for the base rate and get 10,000 points, right? And then it's bigger pays better on top of that, so up to the 3x bonus. So at the moment, we've had a couple of bigger players come in. Will we start to get some $100,000 players in here? Would we start to do that, right? So, yeah. Paul C says, would you sacrifice personally? Well, I don't normally talk about my crypto stuff, right? I don't normally talk about stuff like that. I appreciate the question. So this is the currently the first 3 weeks, right? And then after that, then we've got this the second phase, which we then see the base rate starts to go up. So it goes up by 6.25%, I think it is. Yeah, 6.25% per day. So you're going to get less tokens, right? Essentially for the same amount of money. Now the question is, in the first phase here, will you, if we get a rally in crypto in the second half of November and you sacrifice, then you're going to have a better rate, right? You're going to have more dollars, and therefore you'll get more tokens. So that's kind of something to think about in this lead up in the next couple of weeks. This period here with the better rate before you get the 6.25% penalty accumulated every day is that we may see volatility on PulseChain, right? When people changing their minds, I'm going to sacrifice, not sacrifice. We're going to see, those sort of things happen. Richard's expecting to do a live stream. That's going to change the whole market dynamics as well. Maybe people get more clarity, more confidence, more whatever. We'll see. All depend on what Richard says, what the tone is, etc. We're expecting obviously huge audience for his live streams, particularly his first one back. And so, yeah, that is some of the things to think about here. But you got plenty of time to think about it. And so, by the time we get to this day here, the 2nd of December, it's reasonable to expect we'll get a big rally in the amount of money that goes in there. What that is compared to the previous 20 days is a question mark, but it's reasonable to expect that. And then, of course, if there's a lot of FOMO after that, we still generally see particularly the first week, still see quite a bit of sacrifice going in those first days, and it does tail off as we go up this curve, right? Gets more expensive there. And then you get a little bit of late FOMO, right? Late FOMO, but they're getting much less rate, right? Much less rate at the end with the flat rate, 75%. Excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze. So that's kind of the place there. You can see it's climbing up here from $1.06 here on these, $1 on the 2nd of December. And then by the time you get to the last day here, which is 60 days in, right, which is the 10th of January, you're essentially up to $10. So you're 10x higher, right? 10x higher on that flat rate there. $10, $1 to $10. Pretty dramatic. Right, so I'm in three minds. Yeah, well, you and a lot of other people, Paul. It's fair enough. Fair enough on the yeah, that's right, on the crypto. I know what you're talking about there. Richard Hart has lost a lot of trust. I imagine possibly he can get it back, but I'm not so sure. Well, that there's people that are still strongly supporting, people that don't. Now, Richard often gives a lot of little riddles, the way he kind of writes his stuff, and some people don't. It's they're not always clear to follow. Some people don't follow them. Sometimes they're clear, and then he normally mocks people when they don't get it. So it's kind of some of the things. But we get used to that sort of stuff, right? You get used to that. And at the end of the day, you've got to trust the plan or not. Now, hopefully, we're going to look at a few comments that may give you a bit more food for thought to think about. So we're going to get into that. So anyway, this is where we are right now. Those are the leaders. We're almost 20 days to go before the rate rise. Hopefully we've gone through the rate there reasonably. It's also got a log scale thing there. But yeah, so let's go through the numbers there. 700K, almost 14 billion points, 2,000 sacrifices. Unique tokens 406 and 24 networks kind of access there. 10KX says Paul. Yeah, I don't know. We'll keep a lookout. Anyway, we're going to look at a few other things, and you can decide. So let's go to Hexologist. Actually, before that, yeah. So let's go to Hexologist. So this is ProveX.info, right? ProveX.info. But Richard Hexologist did a nice little summary here as well. So I thought we'd go through this. It says days 1 to 21, November the 11th to December the 1st. He's got here best rate. You get the best rate. Everyone gets the same base rate. And I think the date's actually the 2nd of December, right? We just saw that on the table there. Everyone gets the same base rate. The volume bonus is up to 3x depending on your rank. Bigger sacrifice equals higher multiplier. Now, but that is very important that you realize that this really is the market price. If you think about it, these are the cheapest price. They're getting the cheapest price because they get this 3x multiple for bigger pays better. And so really, they are. If the price goes above that, they're the ones that get in the money first, right? They're in the profit first. So I think that's the best way to look at it. And actually, people that are 3x down, they're close to, they've got a much higher price. So therefore, they need a much higher price than to get their money back, just like we see with PulseChain. All right, so that's interesting. We got at days 22 to 54, December the 2nd, January 4th, approximately. Rate rises steadily each day. You get fewer points. Like I said, it's 10x by the time we get to the end. The volume rank is still a lot active until January the 4th to the 9th. Volume bonus, a flat 0.75 bonus for everyone. And then worst rate of the entire sacrifice, which is obviously the case there. That's running for about 60 days. Tip, get in before December the 2nd for the best rate. Chance at the highest multiplier up to 3x, which is basically this first phase, right? This phase that we're in now. And this is the phase where we probably see the most volatility, and maybe particularly on this last day, the 2nd of December, right? We could see that hit PulseChain. People decide to suddenly late FOMO into the best rate. And so there, just take note of that, 2nd of December there. Right, so that's, I thought that was a good little post there, or at least summary, probably a grok summary or something from on it, but that is kind of cool. That was a good one. Race. I'll post that in the chat there in case you guys want to check it out. That's on the chat there. But if you're on X, you can check it out on Hexologist. Hexologist 31 is his handle. All right, so the next one there I thought we'd go through is Richard Hart. Richard Hart's got a couple of comments. Here over the last sort of 17 hours or so. It Says one of the things people really like about new coins is less people being able to dump them on their heads. One cool way to achieve that is to make it harder to get the coins. I feel like I like the feeling of a chart that makes new all-time highs often. Well, everyone likes that, instead of new all-time lows. Now, the thing about this comment is that you just never know when it's going to be, right? You just never know when that's going to be. That's the problem with that comment. It's a good comment, of course. We like that, but it's always potentially alluding to things in the future. But you just never know the timing, and that can be a big problem for some people, a lot of people sometimes. And one of the ways to help achieve that is for sellers to no longer have things to sell. Well, that's obviously very important. How is that going to be achieved? That's going to be the interesting thing. And of course, and buyers to be able to buy quite low. Well, obviously, buying quite low, particularly at the beginning, can be pretty good for a chart. And so we'll see what that means as well. Buying the bottom is more fun than buying the top, I hear. That's true. Anyway, random market thoughts at the moment. So, is he alluding to the new coin getting pumped to the moon? That's the question mark there, right? Question mark there. Crypto Steve says, yep, fully convinced that there's not Richard Hart tweeting. Well, apparently that is Richard Hart tweeting. So there we go. So that was one comment from Richard about that. I think he had another one here we're going to check out. Now, oh yes, this one here. So he says, if I was streaming a video right now, which I'm not and won't be till I've written some pages of text I've been putting off, maybe a day or two, what are these burning questions you have? So it does appear that Richard Hart will be doing a stream, and that's going to be very important. So it's going to be important if he wants to promote ProveX and get it, get the all the communities on the move. It's also going to be important to give clarity and confidence and have all that sort of stuff there about maybe a little bit about the game plan. We shall see. We shall see what he decides to do there. But yeah, we're all going to find out, guys. But that's super bullish, and we would expect him to get a very big audience. Not only that, but particularly if he does more fairly often streams as well, that'd be pretty cool. So that certainly potentially could even move the markets on PulseChain, not just on ProveX, right? So we will see. It's going to be volatile the next couple of weeks. So yeah, we've got a couple more comments from Paul. Paul says, it reminds me of very much of the PulseX I sacrificed before Christmas, I think, and then waited 2 years and then lost money. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to be waiting that long, though, Paul, this time. That's my general feeling based on a lot of comments I've seen from Richard. And we'll certainly have a bit more detail about that when he does the live stream. It could all turn around and maybe this will fly. We'll see. Crystal ball is defective. Yeah. Well, I think it's the part of the cycle that we're in as well. And Richard knows that. And that's, the timing of all this is pretty telling as well. So, yeah, that's why I'm fairly optimistic about a lot of that stuff. Randy Lasky thinks he's been kidnapped or something. Yeah. Well, it's always possible. But we've got some counter comments to that. So we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So live stream from Richard. That's going to be bullish. What else? Let's scroll up here a little bit here. 6 hours ago, says, funny story. Some people got people to dump their coins for a single stable and put that single stable into a contract they had the keys to, and they AML'd, KYC'd everyone. Then they gave the money back. Yeah, it sounds like entire opposite of why crypto was invented. Here's the thing, though. 1.4 billion stable appeared in that contract, lol. So can you imagine how much money is slopping about buying stupid stuff already too? The project was a layer 2, lol, and an L2. Ha ha ha. Anyway, it's hard to understand it, but a lot of the time when people are doing stuff, you're not their targeted audience. Other people are. So there we go. So just remember that you're not probably the target audience. Other people are, and appealing to those other people to bring to a better place. So ProveX is in the motion. So maybe it's not particularly for all the PulseChain people participate, at least not with their PulseChain assets. So take note of that. And this is what allows you to have more impact in the world. TLDR, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about enlarging the influence in the community by appealing to what people are attracted to. So take note there. Then we got the second follow-up on that was, if I wanted to name drop L2s, I know how to type, and I would type it if I thought it was useful. It's not useful. What's useful is to understand narrative expansion. If people are more interested in something new, like, say, ProveX, you have to give them that thing, or they'll just go elsewhere. Remember when I said that people that say they tried everything, but in actuality tried quite a few things? You have to try things and see if they work. Maybe being the first coin to do a thing is better than being the 20th. Will be great to find out. So that was from Richard there. Hex, by the way, was the first thing to do a thing and went up 1 million %. So that's pretty cool. So there we go. There's a couple of key takeaways there, potentially about, it's not about you, it's about grabbing other people's attention. And secondly, the coin might go to the moon, but of course the timing is always the key. I do happen to think it'll probably be on the earlier side of things. And of course, remember, the sacrifice period for ProveX is going through to the 10th of January. So, 2026 expect to be pretty bullish. Do we know when the stream is? Well, you just said a day or two, Paul. You just said a day or two on that post, which is, yesterday. So could be very soon. It's going to be soon, I would say, because, the process is first 3 weeks is, the better rate, right? The better rate. All right, so 6 hours ago, sir, proof of work, nuking environment, dumping price, need something better. Oh, okay, Hex is born. Sir, gas price is too high, sucks out 50 million of gas fees. Okay, PulseChain is born. Sir, token with name of AMM has no relationship to actual function of AMM. Okay, PulseX is born. Sir, people want a free token on top of LP reward in AMM. Okay, Inkas was born. Sir, people want to fight in the trenches and launch their own coins. Okay, Pump.Tires is born. Sir, people want a coin that's never been done before and will solve on-ramps and can transcend the blockchain entirely and solve things lots of other places. It would be nice if it attracted new communities by not being narratively encumbered by old things to start. So here's the, attracted new communities, guys. So this is, he's already, thrusting the fact that it's not really for the PulseChain, essentially, but really for new communities. But obviously, his army is PulseChain. So, I mean, they would have to get out and promote it a lot more. And we've got quite a bit mixed feelings in the PulseChain community, so we're just being frank about that. There's 50-50, I would say, at the moment, which is probably the weakest it's ever been. That's because the charts and Pulse are pretty down, and now they got down a bit more, right? Because people did exactly what he sort of indicated not to do, which is not sell at a loss, which is one of the posts he had before he announced ProveX. In the end, though, I bet it will need a high throughput, low fee place to do stuff. Where might such a place be, I wonder? ProveX. There we go. So there we go. More stuff from Richard there. Got a few comments there. Just so we can see whether he's got anything that's worth talking about there. Okay, so that is from Richard. So Richard's communicating to the community before he even does a live stream through these posts. Let's go to the next one, just so that we're covering it all, right? And we'll go past the Lambos. Past the best Lambos. I don't think there's anything in that one. Yeah, nothing in that one. And let's keep going up. Writes 2 books, he says. Sir, we need guidance. Did you read the books? I don't read good. In the audiobook? It's all funny. All right, so let's see here. Let's scroll up top here. So 56 minutes ago. In fact, this was just after I posted an update on X for that. But of course, he's got 350,000 followers, so he's a founder. Only $700,000 so far. I love that you can see who's winning. Supports multiple chains and events for the same address, and you can click around and see where it all comes from. Very cool. ProveX.info there. Now the funny thing is, there were some websites showing that people had a referral link on there, which is kind of interesting. And then you can obviously make referral links with the R, but it doesn't show up for most people. I know Crypto Coffee put one out, but it was interesting that because referral links are generally, they work. Hex, they work for Hex. So yeah, it's I think Hex was at 20%. I think it was. Self referral was I think 32%, something like that. So yeah, it's interesting. All right, so that is let us know out there if you've seen that. So that's from Richard Hart so far. I don't think we've got any other updates, but there's some bullish stuff there. So he's communicating to the audience. It's trying to grab new audience in the ProveX with the new product. Don't sell your bags at a loss on PulseChain. It's really about capturing. It's basically a second capital raise, right? But trying to catch money outside the audit community. I think that's going to take a lot of effort by the community itself, as well as Richard Hart, to reach out to non-Pulsicans So that's going to be an issue there. And so, but once he does a live stream, it really puts the afterburner on, right? So that's going to be pretty interesting to see that. And I would say pretty bullish. So we'll keep a lookout for all the impacts of all that. At the moment, let's do a little refresh of ProveX and see where we're at here on the balances. So 722K, so we're up, about 25,000 since we started. Saw that balance at the beginning, so it's going on up there. So we'll keep a lookout there. But still, we'll see how high this will get. All right, so that is ProveX. That's Richard Hart. So thanks, Richard. Now Richard's dev or developer is Bretep. He's a good guy. And he put out a few comments because some people, like Randy Lasky, thought the site might be not Richard. Richard might have been hacked. But Bretep says, I hear of a season called Alt. Anyone know what it is and when? And then he posts underneath there 16 hours ago. Pulse season gives me straight up chills. Ooh, so Richard Art's dev, Bretep, Pulse season, and gives me straight up chills. In other words, he's excited about it, guys. He's got the glasses on. So, for those that may be a little bit, are wondering what the heck is Richard is doing, well, Richard is communicating through the posts, and now his devs also getting us back online about Pulse season. Now, remember the comment that Richard made a little while back about, I'm not interested in altcoin season, I'm interested in PulseChain season. Now, that doesn't mean that PulseChain season is tomorrow, right? Because now we've got a 60-day sacrifice. But maybe December, there's something will happen, and maybe something in the new year after the 10th of December. So there's a couple of opportunities in there to get things moving. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But he says, but will it just be a season? That is the question. And so what I take from that is, are you meaning that it's not just going to be a season, it's going to be long lasting, it's going to be robust? So I don't know, we'll see. That'll be pretty interesting. There's lots of, Richard's got lots of firepower. The sacrifice is adding to that. There's lots of mechanisms and things that Richard can do, lots of chess moves. So we'll see how many chess moves how many options he's opened up and how many chess moves he will make. It's going to be interesting. But certainly a lot of weak hands have been shaken out. So we'll see. We'll see. Did we get all those comments? Wookie says, is it possible aliens have a seed phrase? It's possible. AI3 Atlas might have kidnapped it. PDI to $10, says Wookie. Wow, PDI to $10. Well, you'll be a big popular guy amongst the PDI community, like Decentralize Me, Dirty Crypto, and Somi, I'm sure. What else? So that is some, I thought, pretty bullish comments from him about all that. And this one here particularly, Pulse season gives me straight up chills. So, if you got the dev getting excited about that, then, maybe knows a little bit about the game plan. Maybe just knows a little bit. Who knows? But they've been doing all the updates. Remember, we had big upgrades with GoPulse and the Explorer and things like that. So we've been getting a lot of updates this year from Richard. Richard's definitely been improving everything, the websites and all that sort of stuff. So there is a lot of chess moves being made. Some of them are promotional, presentational. Some of them are going to be, actual moves on the chain value as well. So read into every post that Richard's putting and try and get a good understanding of it. All right, so that is from Bretep. So I thought that might lift the spirits there a little bit with that sort of bullish posting. We had a nice little breakdown here from Fast Abdul, and of course he's the founder of Ink Printer and Vault 369 coming up, and both liquidity forks. And he's got here, everybody keeps Richard Hart is really building with ProveX. We're going to quickly go through a little bit of this. Everyone keeps looking at the spot price and missing the big picture. Richard's latest post wasn't about a random liquidity lesson. It was a clue, a big one. He's teaching the market how fair value pricing works when you remove exchanges entirely. And he's got here, think about it. A coin trades at $1, cool. But if you try to sell 10 million of them and the market only absorbs 2.4 million, the real value of the block isn't 10 million, it's 2.4 million. Spot price does not equal the value at size. That's the point. And then, of course, why bring this up now? Because once you eliminate exchanges, no order books, no AMMs, no slippage curves, no centralized market makers setting prices, you have a new way to determine fair block pricing. Enter ProveX plus private prover. which is the tech, right? ProveX is not an exchange token. It's the fuel of a new settlement layer. Private prover lets two parties trade everything of value, fiat to crypto, tickets, domains, credentials, using math, not middlemen, and every settlement burns ProveX engineered scarcity. Here how ProveX trade works. Buy and seller connect through a browser extension. System calculates a fair size aware price. Buyer proves they sent fiat. Seller proves they sent crypto. Proofs match, and the funds are unlocked. Fee buys and burns ProveX. Zero custody and zero centralized exchange. No drama there from him. So there we go. Number 6, this is the exchange killer Richard hinted at. Instant fiat on or off ramps, no listings, no account freezes, no KYC databases, no slippage nuking your bags, no paying 1% to the middleman for clicking a button, just proofs equals settlement. And that's 10 million units post. That was just the missing piece, teaching people why size needs fair pricing, preparing them for a system where spot price does not equal the block price, and of course laying the groundwork for a decentralized over-the-counter valuation model. He's onboarding everybody to the new paradigm. This just isn't an app. It's a universal settlement layer. Crypto to fiat, peer-to-peer marketplaces, identity proofs, enterprise verifications, deepen output proofs, credentials, tickets, remittance, escrow. Every use burns ProveX. Fixed supply to adoption and equals scarcity. Blockchains remove double spend. ProveX removes the middleman. Everything exchanges do, custody, pricing, settlement, and verification, becomes cryptographic proofs instead of trust. This is the disintermediation layer we haven't had yet. TLDR, Richard isn't launching another token. He's launching a global trustless settlement network where exchanges are obsolete. Fair value pricing happens automatically. Private prover handles proofs. PulseX burns on ProveX burns on every use. Adoption equals permanent scarcity. Join, of course, the Telegram group, and of course, Fastable is a moderator there. So I thought it was a nice little summary there for those still grappling with what's going on with ProveX and why it's important there. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now I did do a poll, a couple of polls actually. So let's go through a couple of those. I did this poll here. How much do you think will be sacrificed for ProveX? Well, got 48% up to $50 million. And at this stage, that's where I would think we're going to be, right? I think we would probably be up to there. Now we do have 100 million, 250 million, and 250 million. We got still 35%, expecting over 250 million. I think that's going to require quite a bit of things to happen. And of course, they are targeting non-PulseChain community. So we'll see. But that's kind of where I think we're at the moment. The run rate, of course, we're almost up to, maybe the first day, 800K. Now, one of the key defining things here is going to be two things, I think, or three things, let's say. So the first is Richard Hart live streaming. That's obviously going to be a massive supercharger to people contributing. Number 2 will be whether we see any marketing material suddenly emerge around ProveX all over the place. So that would be interesting. And then number 3 is will the PulseChain community and influencers, instead of 50-50, suddenly become 80-20 and start really promoting it. So that's going to be really interesting to see some of those moves. So those are some of my thoughts on that, and we'll see what happens once Richard streams potentially in the next day or two. So that was some of the stuff happening there. All right, the next one, of course, was the how much people might actually participate. How much will you sacrifice for the ProveX sacrificer? I've actually misspelled that, of course, but it looks funny. Up to $500, 41.7%. 500 to 2,000, 21% there. 2,000 to 5,000, 12%, and over 5,000, 25%. So there we go. That was some of the numbers. We had 24 votes on that, but that's some of the numbers there, and that does line up with what we see, some degree with the actual sacrifices here. So if we go to the last page, you can see the last sacrifices here with the low multiplier, 1 multiplier, right? And then, of course, you can just tap through and you can see all the other accounts. Account number 1140 is value sacrifice 6 cents. 6 cents there. So we've got lots of people playing a little bit of sacrifice on it. So once you get to $1, 10,090. So they're getting 10,000 points for their $1. And then you have to obviously tap through quite a bit to get into the top 1,000. $6.84, 68,000. So we've got lots of people doing little tiny baby amounts there at the moment, which is kind of funny, right? Kind of funny. What else? We've got some recent ones. You got the recents here as well. You see all the recent stuff coming in, I think. Most of it's from Ethereum, right? Look at that, 619,000 from Ethereum. Solana 41,000 and Base 27. So those are the other things. Will we see any particular pickup on any of these other chains in terms of sacrifices? Will be something unusual happens or one of them really jumps up there? We shall see. So kind of cool. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now we do have people. Obviously, we talk about 50-50 in the community. Now I've seen a couple of large PulseChain influencers really get upset over the fact that it wasn't PulseChain and it was non-PulseChain cores in particular, like stable coins and ETH and everything else on all these other chains. And I've seen at least 3 or 4 influencers get pretty upset. Some of them taking down all their PulseChain stuff out there. You can go check them out. I don't really want to name names out of politeness. But there's probably at least 3 or 4 quite large influencers that are quite unhappy. We'll see whether they change their mind after Richard Hart live stream and things like that. We'll see. That's what it is. The market crashing over 30% yesterday. Obviously, no one enjoys that. And even though Richard told people not to sell a loss, it is what it is. When you put a sacrifice out there, people, if they're mostly on PulseChain, they've got to sell those funds to participate, all that sort of stuff. So I mean, it's kind of inevitable, right? And so we'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks with that too. Now, obviously, one of the big crypto people is Ivan on Tech, and he's always loves to have a good laugh at things. And this one here was particularly aggressive. So we're going to watch this. Hope you guys enjoy it. And this can be kind of the not the worst case scenario, but some of the bigger criticisms here. So this is about 4 minutes long. So I'm going to watch this little video here.
A big part of this cycle has been the wreckage of the PulseChains, guys. And I mean, at this point, it's not even funny. Like normally, we joke around with PulseChains, this and that, but this is kind of, man, it's like domestic abuse, Yeah, I cannot laugh at it today. I cannot laugh at it because basically their boss, Richard, doing another sacrifice, and he says, no Pulse, no PulseX, no incentive, no Hex, like all of these core coins they want to pump that his community holds, they will not be accepted. So what happens? Everyone dumps them. He could have given such a nice buy pressure to them, so the community at least has some kind of green number. No, big fat no. And normally we laugh at that, Hexicans, ha, this and that. I mean, at this point, it's barely funny because it is literal vacuuming. He's like vacuuming. He's vacuuming your money from your portfolio in real time. And what is the conclusion here? The conclusion here is that there are no shortcuts. If you are in crypto, you need to know trading for real. You cannot trust some kind of quick fix. So with Pulse, what happened? Many people saw it as a bit of a quick fix, that you buy this coin that the genie, the fat man, promotes, okay? They have this idea that if we just rub the belly button of the genie, the money will come. The money will come. They rub the belly button. They rub for 5 years they've been rubbing it. No money has been delivered. It's like the leprechaun. The leprechaun at the end of the rainbow, and it's Richard there sitting. You rub his belly button. Where is the money? There is no money. Instead, the money goes from you to him. So it's very, very, very serious. I don't want to laugh about the Gucci man, exactly, the Gucci man. And so the conclusion, guys, there are no shortcuts. It is not hard to learn trading for real. That's why I'm telling you, click the link below, learn trading for real, learn the mechanical rules. It's a free training right here because it is possible to make the money back. Whether you're scammed in the Pulse situation, because at this point, if you still don't understand it, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. It is time to accept reality. If you've been scammed for the last 5-6 years in this whole situation, or how many years it is, it's years long now, you can make it back by actually doing the work and learning. And it doesn't take a long time to learn the simple mechanical rules that make you consistently profitable. It doesn't take a long time, but you have to learn. You cannot count on a shortcut. And if you are wrecked in all, the same thing. If you feel that this cycle has not been too great, also, you need to learn for real. You need to learn for real. Because the truth is that Bitcoin has gone from 15K to 125K. we pumped a lot of different coins here. I mean, as a community, like Ansem said, we sent dog with hat to $5 billion. When people are saying, oh, but this cycle didn't have euphoria. I mean, we did see dog with hat to $5 billion, okay? Like this guy saying, I still struggle to see how crypto actually achieved any market-wide euphoria. But euphoria was Trump for sure, the Trump coin. But remember dog with hat, man. Dog with hat went ballistic, absolutely parabolic, okay? So is it possible to make back the loss if you are at a loss? If you're watching this, you're at a loss. It is absolutely possible. You just have to stay in crypto. Most people who have been in crypto for a few cycles, they've been through what you've been through. But the thing is, you need to learn. Like you need to actually put in the work. Put in the work. The fat man will not save you. His new coin will not save you. Because you need to understand that at the end of the day, your interest and his interests, they're not aligned. They're absolutely not aligned. It's different. It's different. And it's harder to explain to a person that he or she has been scammed than for the scammer to convince them that they are scammed. Okay, but it is what it is, guys. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Yeah, keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind that stay in crypto. Whatever is happening, stay in crypto. It's gonna be okay. There are ways to get back, and it is possible to make back if you put in the work, and that's why we share all of this.
All right, so that was Ivan on Tech, and that is showing some of the views on the other side. So the critics out there, that's showing the critic views. Now, obviously, you can have lots of counter arguments around that, around the cycle, post like BreedTap and things like that. So there's lots of counter arguments about where we are in the cycle, where PulseChain will have its day in the sun. Now, obviously, PulseChain does have issues around the big sacrifice set. That same issue is in the ProveX set as well, around the big sacrifices. So that doesn't really go away with the bigger pays better bonus. So that is always an issue. So we're going to see. There've been allusions to price go up, and we're going to find out. So you're going to be in one camp or the other, and actually see where that all lands. The other side, of course, we did have the SEC hanging over PulseChain for 2 years. So, all those points are missed out by Ivan there. And of course, in terms of making money in other crypto, well, you should always do that anyway. You should always have crypto and other chains, not just PulseChain. Obviously, PulseChain is waiting for the chess moves to be made, the magic carpet ride to play out. And you've got to have other chains and other tokens to make money. So I mean that's true regardless of where PulseChain is at. The other thing, of course, you'll often see on other streams with Ivan on Tech is that he'll be bullish. He'll be like, well, I hope it goes, hope it happens, and I'm there, I'm with you guys. That was what we got just only a week or two ago. And so we'll see how it all lays out. So at the end of the day, you got to decide which camp you're in, and whether you manage to have diamond hands and hold on. But BreedTap's pretty excited about PulseChain season. Richard Hart was talking about unwaunched in PulseChain season and altcoin season. So we'll see how this plays out. But certainly, 60-day sacrifice pushes us back into 2026. But there's no reason why we couldn't see something else happen in December. We shall see. All right, so that's common stuff there with the old Ivan on Tech. Now, some of the other thing that we're seeing at the moment, regardless of Richard Hart and everything else that's going on, PulseChain is an ongoing concern, right? So it just keeps going. And we've got a whole ton of developers that just keep launching projects. As you guys know, I cover a lot of them. We even help get a lot of projects promoted, right, with our promotion support that MBS Crypto and I do. There's always going to be some bad actors out there, unfortunately. So there's always some of those that come along every so often. But generally, most project teams have been pretty good. They've got really good products. They're really good people, and they're really adding value to PulseChain. So we have that too, right? One of the projects that's out at the moment. Now, I haven't done a lot of due diligence on this one, so just take note of that. We've got PUX 402. They said they've got a new platform coming with a very exciting innovations and a first on PulseChain. And that's what they've got there with the PX 4042 contract. Obviously, we're going to have to see audits and all sorts of other things, right? Anyone can make up these things in AI these days, right? You can make up any sort of advanced DeFi you want, make it look like it's there, but it's not there. But they've got a sneak peek of PX 402 Bank, and this is going to be interesting. Can they actually bring something real to PulseChain? Will it be good? And we're going to find out. So they've got the wallet address there. They've got native pulse balance. We shall see. But we have to get all the credentials for that first, right? So just take note of that. And I haven't checked around those securities, but just want to highlight, some of the little things that teams are doing in terms of pushing things up. We do got this post here from Crypto Solve, and Crypto Solve is one of our 3 what I call analytical influencers on PulseChain. We've got Ben Sierra does Hex reports, and so we've got some good people in the PulseChain community doing some of the more analytical work. So yeah, they've got here. We'll probably collate today. This is an hour ago. Later today, and make a larger post once we've got the time. But a quick look at bridge transaction data from today shows relatively little outflow from dumping to sacrifice, and that's something that I felt intuitively had happened. Even though we got a bit of a flash crash yesterday, I don't think we saw quite that much, flow into the sack there. Barely a handful of bridges, 50k in value, even settled the cutoff at 20,000. It looks like less than 20 bridges out. If you exclude wallets that were routinely dumping, bridging anyway, and guys arbing prices, we'll be willing to bet net outflow for the day ends up just being less than 1 million, which isn't out of the ordinary for just a standard day. Lots of the current price action is fear, panic, and people dumping to try and buy lower. A quick peruse of larger, greater than $100,000 dumpers from today shows that a number of these wallets are currently sitting in stables or in Ethereum on PulseChain and have not bridged out. Presumably, many of these are looking for opportunities to buy lower. Below is a picture filtering out for 50k transactions, excluding a few crap coins, of which a number are just people arbing prices, so totally irrelevant there. So that was a kind of a cool little update there from Crypto Solve around the market dumping, and we'll see what happens from there. I think that's it from them. So that was kind of cool from the markets there. Let's have a quick look at where PulseChain is at right now after been an hour on the live stream. How we're doing there? We're in 1 hour and 1, so we're probably going to wrap up here. And we can see at the moment still pretty similar to what we saw before. 46k volume. We saw the similar top peers up here at the moment. I don't think there's been too much change there. We've got Peacock moving up a little bit there. Like I say, it's really one of the defensive stocks. If we look at the 6 hours, we can see that SCADA, which is the new token from and new protocol, I think too, from Nuke the Supply, I think, or at least related to Nuke Supply. Let's have a quick look at the website here. Yeah, Nuke the Supply project is supply control and distribution application, and it's done pretty well. Now, this team is one of the clever teams on PulseChain. So if you want to check out a really cool team that's doing something different and something really, I think, quite neat, they also base it around scarcity, and Nuke the Supply is a team that does that. So big hat off to that team. And there we go. That is Nuke the Supply there. Check it out. Let's jump back out of there. So we also got Yoink at the moment, up, doing pretty well last 6 hours, 24%, and then Peacock there moving up as well. And I was going to talk about Peacock, so let's finish off with Peacock. Actually, let's go finish off with Peacock here, and let's have a look at what they're doing. So let me pull this up. This will be our final topic, and then we'll have one final look at the. So that's Peacock there. But what's interesting, this is the US dollar price. But what's the ratio, right? The ratio there. Well, the ratio is being pushed up, guys. So we got pushed up from 475 to 568. So there's some buying going on, and that's probably coming from the Peacock Treasury, is my guess. So let's have a look at the results here for Peacock. If you're looking for defensive stocks or defensive crypto on PulseChain, then this is probably the best, if not one of the best, probably the best actually. And it's still in the process of being made, right? Still, rolling out. So let's have a quick look at some of the updates here. I must say they've also got a great sense of humor. The old Peacock. I just want to get back to. So 14 hours ago, this is what they finished off at, right? 600 million pulse had been added to the Peacock today. More coming tomorrow. Believe in the Peacock. So that's kind of where we got to. Then I posted this out. The way Mr. Hart keeps launching new coins shows that not every one of his creations is meant to rise like Hex once did. No one could repeat that perfectly. He seems at peace with it. It's not like the early days when a founder devoted full attention to a single project such as Hex. He's grown and adapted, and we should do the same. That's why I don't bet on every core coin. I choose one that truly makes sense and focuses my efforts, and that's Pulse and Peacock, right? So he's feeding the bird with the old Pulse, like that. And then, of course, we've got, what else there? someone please save me from insanity. Obviously, all the charts were down. And then he's like, 5 hours ago, I'm officially losing it. I have 5 cups of coffee this morning. Now my hands are shaking. Is my bag going to zero? Is my peacock cooked? Someone hold me before I start shorting my own sanity there. I thought it was pretty funny. All right, so great sense of humor from the Liberty Swap team. What else there? Let's scroll up a little bit from here. So 5 hours ago, they just as they promised the day before with the 600 million pulse, they did 110 million pulses beat with Peacock today. We'll start buying back Peacock. Now, remember, the strategy has been as follows. The Peacock have been increasing the LP all the time. I've noticed that. So not so much the buying, but the LP setup. So they've been increasing the LP for Peacock, fattening up the LP, giving a lot more support, particularly in down markets. And we know they're getting ready to potentially get a Coinbase listing. So they keep teasing about that. That's pretty huge, and that's going to lead on to other parts of their strategy as well. Remember, they're only halfway through the month for the roadmap. The next big thing coming up in the weekend, we'll talk about in a minute. But we'll start buying back Peacock from the market using all of our collected fees and other incomes to strengthen the Peacock markets there. So that was pretty cool from the Liberty Swap. Straight out of the gate there. Or jump past that one there. Liberty Swap says, rip the bandage off quick and clean. That's what Richard was talking about, right? The upside is clear now. Let's go. The bandage has been ripped off. Although I think we're going to have pretty volatile, a couple of weeks. I truly believe pump tires coins are going to perform exceptionally well this cycle. I agree with him on that. We've got Crypty Girl here doing another dance. She was formerly the Hex Girl. Now she's I guess the PulseChain Crypty Girl there. She's pretty full of life there. We got 14 minutes ago. Have you visited PulseChain today? You can feel it. People are holding on to one hope, and they are turning that hope into unstoppable energy. Pulse and Peacock there. Moon, please. Everybody excited. So, what a team Liberty Swap is. What a team. Now, we know that coming up, we saw that they're going to be buying up the Peacock with some of their Pulse treasury reserves. And here we've got November the 15th coming up this weekend. We've got PDI deflationary routes go live. That's going to be big because it's one of our biggest communities. I understand that possibly Layer 0 is also going to be involved there. That could be huge. That some people were citing, like Decentralize Me, that we could see arbitrage across chains and parity across chains with the Layer 0 technology. We'll keep a lookout for that. But certainly bullish for PDI, enabling cross-chain movement between Ethereum mainnet and PulseChain. That's a pretty cool expansion. We'll see what that PDI community can do with that. And then, of course, the other big one here, which I think is massive, right? I think this is massive, is the wrapped ETH PulseChain to Ethereum mainnet, a two-way bridge launches. I think that's going to be absolutely huge. So I'm very excited about that. And a lot of fees can be generated with that at a 0.1% fee. Very, very cool. So all fees collected will support Peacock liquidity. And of course, that is still their thing to build up the liquidity, right? Because they want to get nice big fat liquidity so they can potentially do this coin listing. And we also see that they're processing their coin market cap listing, right, which costs $5,000. So that is very exciting. So really excited about that. But then the next, you think that's not just amazing, which I think it is, because a lot of people want to use ETH to get the PulseChain. Is November the 30th, they got Railgun coming, and this is a massive value add to the Liberty Swap pool community. So it's going to be Railgun to PulseChain bridge, goes live for privacy enabled transfers. That is going to be very popular because Liberty Swap is already pretty popular, and that's an easy way to get there, right? And this is just November. December, we're expecting, based on my calculations, the staking of Peacock. So that's a supply sync and push up the demand for Peacock, and potentially meme token rewards from the pump tires. Presumably, it's coming from all the LPs that are paired up with the Peacock. Peacock has a treasury that's been pairing up with the Peacock any pools that have been pairing up with Peacock. Not any, but a certain amount of the pools that have been pairing up with Peacock. And there's well over 200 pairs, right, trading. And that's going to just continue to increase too, no doubt. So it's pretty exciting. So we're going to keep a look out there. I presume that's where the meme coins are coming from. But we'll see. Maybe they've got a few tricks up their sleeves, these guys. One of those is, remember, layered on top of all this is this capital efficiency and management that these guys have. And they are doing a terrific job. And it's very exciting on that. So, we could do a whole ton of stuff on this. So if you want to find out more, definitely join up Strategy Club. The link's in the video description on YouTube. And if you're on X, hit up the post at the top there, only $35 a month, which is just over $1 a day, guys. Very good value. It's not an investment club, it's a strategy club. So a lot of intel passes in there. We have a lot of discussions, all that good stuff. So it's really, really cool there. People need to make their own investment decisions, and that's that's why it's not an investment club. It's just a strategy club there. All right, so your band's in house. Good morning, Superman. Good morning to you, your band. Hey, great to see you. Hey, we've got a great crowd of people watching right now, but we're going to wrap up shortly. Let's have a quick look at the price on Peacock. It's getting pushed up, guys. 581. So we've got some market buyings happening there, and the price is back up at 1.4 cents and on the move. So we've got this very exciting launches this weekend too for Liberty. So and it's a very defensive stock when you've got well-managed, fee-earning, expanding ecosystem. I call it the gateway to PulseChain. I also call it the Stargate to all the other chains. We're excited about it. The fees are relatively modest, and I think that's defensible. It's pretty cool. All right, so feeding the bird, as it were, feeding the bird. So let's have a quick final look at Prove and just on the way out and see what the final ProveX numbers are. So 2:45 I had it was the start. So we're 2.5 hours away from a 24-hour number by my count. And we're at $750,000 with 2.5 hours to go. And so, yeah, that's pretty exciting. 15 billion points, 2,142 sacrifices so far, 406 tokens, and 24 networks. And we've got 20 days and 47 minutes to go, apparently, by the end there. Now, I think this clock started before Richard, of course, that put it out on X. I think that's why there's a difference there between those 2.5 hours there. So what's it, about an hour or so difference there? But TikTok, it's ticking away. Let's see what happens, guys. Let's see what happens. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do we have lots of little insights there? I hope so. Hope that it was well worth watching because, I pulled up a few things there. And big shout out to all the people that wrote some of the things we looked at. So it's kind of cool. All right. Take care, everybody. Catch you tomorrow, similar time. I'm a bit flexible at the moment because I've got other things on. Normally it was at 7 p.m. Eastern also, but have to move it around a little bit at the moment. But I enjoyed the show. Hope you did too. And what have we got? We got really good stuff. So Richard Hart tokens on a discount right now. We got ProveX sacrifice. If you look at the big picture, could be quite a game changer. If you believe in Richard's going to time the cycle, and so therefore that's why we've had a big delay. We're free from the SEC for 4 months now. If you support that view, then the magic upride's still ahead of us, and it could be pretty golden for those that manage to have the diamond hands to survive. And of course, we've got really cool teams like Liberty Swap out there doing some very, very cool things. So there are opportunities to be had. Just make sure you pick off the right ones there. Have a diversified portfolio on PulseChain. Have a diversified portfolio across chains so you can benefit from the wider market as well. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in Strategy Club. Take care and bye for now.